games to end like the football games ended this weekend. I'm here for it. A little extra stakes. I'm here for that also. But back in my day, we talked that shit before the game, and then we backed it up. Anybody can put a flag on the field after you win. Do something before the game gets started.
Prevent someone from planting a flag on your field. Don't let them come into your space and win. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. We fight wars over this stuff. They're territorial battles. What do you do when you win territory? Plant your flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's that simple.
It is. It is. But, again, if you're planting a flag, do it the way Michigan did it. Do it the way North Carolina did it. Do it the way Florida did it. Do it the way Arizona State did it. Don't do it the way Texas did it. Don't wait till everybody leaves the stadium and then come out there.
Man, that's lame.
No,
Everyone was
coward.
applauding Steve Sarkisian for keeping his players from doing it. I'm like, no.
You're a coward at that point.
You're going to play that game for the first time since 2011, and you're not going to plant your flag?
Planting the flag is stupid.
I think... Sure, whatever. I think we're making much ado about nothing.
No. We're not making enough of an ado.
However, if you're gonna do it, have something cool like Arizona State, where you're not planting a flag, you're planting a pitchfork. That's way more fun. Like, have something, a shtick of some kind.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to do this with flags.
Get the spear if you're Florida State. The USC's got the little sword. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that. Have you started listening to Christmas music yet?
I turned on the radio and whoop, there it was.
What was the song? What's the song?
I saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus.
snitch,
First Christmas
Michael
song
Jackson.
of the season. Did you hear?
Hear what?
Or have you started listening to Christmas music?
Yeah, the day after Thanksgiving. We grabbed the trees. The trees are up now, fully decorated. We got our Christmas other decorations up and figurines, so I'm putting those up.
Nice.
Christmas music. I saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus did come on. My wife pointed out Michael Jackson, a little snitch.
Yes.
Let Mama get a piece. I hadn't listened to Santa Claus Need Some Lovin' or Backdoor Santa. I did listen to What Do the Lonely Do, though. And this, what do they do? What do they do?
I listened to What Does Christmas Mean to You? What does
Which
Christmas
version?
mean to you, my love? I don't know, it just popped up.
Stevie Wonder?
Probably.
Okay.
Who else does it well?
I don't know anybody else who does it
It
well.
had to
I know
have been
everybody
Stevie.
does it. We just started the timer over Kyra also.
What if the time just never ends?
Just never ends, and this is just how we do
What
the
if
show
we're
from
just
now
in
on?
multiple clock situations?
Let's do
Forever.
it.
What if we are Georgia Tech? We are going 8 overtimes and we are never, ever ending. That game feels like it was eons ago. What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday. No, it's not. It's Monday. Oh my God, what a start back from a 4-day weekend. It is Monday, December 2nd. New month, gonna be a good month, gonna be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, the Grizzlies are streaking 6 straight wins. Highlights and reaction from their holiday homestand featuring Marcus Smart, the 6th man, Ja Morant, two-way player, and more. We'll get into all the happenings from the Grizz. Rivalry weekend in college football was fun and super friendly. I'm sure CJ will be incredibly humble about Michigan's big win over Ohio State. The NFL playoff picture gets a little bit clearer. Gary Parrish will join us 40 minutes in. He made some people mad with the Dan Hurley comparison that I think actually makes a lot of sense. We'll talk to him about that, about the Memphis Tigers' overall performance at the Maui Invitational, fell in the championship game to Auburn. They are expected to be ranked when the new AP poll comes out later today. We'll talk to GP about all that. We'll end with some Hot Mess Express. We will get back to it on a Monday. You know what they say, fa la 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 la, la 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 la.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of up to $340,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Here Comes Santa kicks off November 24th. Get one free entry and earn additional entries for weekly Saturday drawings. Don't forget the grand finale drawing on Saturday, December 21st to win up to $5,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quoting, call 800-522-4700.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzlies stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis. Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Looking for a fun way to get your child active and involved with the Memphis Grizzlies? Ball out on the Grizzlies home court at Junior Grizzlies Game Day Clinics. Presented by Ortho South. Get your game ready for the big leagues. The first Junior Grizzlies Clinic tips off November 25th before the Grizzlies versus Trailblazers game. Take your child's skills to the next level by signing up at grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies. That's grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies. Don't miss out.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful holiday weekend. CJ, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was wonderful.
Beautiful.
It was delightful. We had in-laws come over, ate a lot of good food, watched a lot of TV, watched a lot of good games going on. My niece came up to me the day before and said, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I want to go outside." I was like, "Oh, you can run around in the back." She's like, No. I want to do what we did last time. Last time they were here, we came downtown, we walked across to the Memphis sign, took pictures, we ate downtown. It was a whole lot of fun. She wanted to do that. I was like, "Oh, no, baby, no. Here's what Uncle CJ is doing. Uncle CJ is going to eat and watch some football and then eat again and
watch some more football.
Take a nap, wake up, watch some basketball, college basketball of some sort, eat again, watch some football, take another nap, wake up, in with a nightcap of football and a little bit of dessert." That's what Uncle CJ has going on. And Uncle CJ did just that. It was good stuff.
By the time the NFL rolled around yesterday, I was like, oh my God, I have no football left to give.
So
I have
much
nothing
football.
left. Of course, CJ will have ample space to go all in on Michigan, which is how I hear Michigan in my head
Michigan.
as they are beating Ohio
soft.
State.
Ohio soft.
The soft eyes.
The Ohio Soft University. Soft ass program. Get out of here.
Unfortunately, my USC Trojans could not partake in a rivalry weekend. It was real tough in my household. Until we weren't. Until we were not. I had to know that you got the sweet, sweet victory of going into Columbus and planting the flag. I had to deal with Chris, my husband, getting to watch Syracuse and Kyle McCord go out there and beat Miami.
Where did Cal McCord play last year?
I think it was Ohio State.
It was Ohio Soft?
I think it was Ohio Soft. Sorry. The Ohio Soft. I don't want to get the
Ohio
trademark
Soft
wrong.
University.
I don't want to get the trademark wrong. But I did not get to experience it with USC. It's okay. We will get into all the college football happenings, all the NFL happenings later in the show. Of course, it was a big weekend for flag planting, but none of that happening at FedEx Forum as the Grizzlies swept their holiday homestand 4-0, capping it off with the Pacers on Sunday afternoon. Let's hit the highlights. 10 out of 10. Wouldn't recommend allowing your opponent to score 45 points in the first quarter. The Grizzlies did that. Santi Aldama helped prevent disaster, had 11 of his 15 points in that first quarter, a couple big threes, and no one loves the reverse more than Santi Aldama. Grizz would trail by 19, cutting back into it. Helps when John Morant goes full hypnotic with passes like these. Clark with the finish. Now the box score is going to tell you that John Morant had 1 steal last night, but women lie, men lie, box scores lie, because that was steal number 1 with the flick of the wrist pass to Desmond Bane, cut the game to single digits. And here is steal number 2. I saw them with my own eyeballs. You did too. And your second helping of how the hell did he make that pass? Grizzlies would cut it to 6 at half. Go ahead, cue up that comeback. Also, objectively, cue up the reminder that John Morant is the best young American player we've got. If you know, you know. That 19-point deficit gone faster than your Thanksgiving leftovers. Grizz were 7-12 from 3 in the third quarter. Desmond Bane splashed till he's hydrated, had 16 points. Jalen Wells, not a regular rookie. He's a cool rookie. Had 13, 7 Grizzlies players in double figures. 5th straight game with 30 or more assists. They had 36, and that one from Marcus Smart. Sheesh. This one from Marcus Smart. Whoosh. Smart, 16 points, 6 assists off the bench. Grizzlies lead the league in assists, top 3 in pace. The team was a run in. No tryptophan here to a 6th straight win, 136-121. Wow, we are at it. Jaren Jackson Jr., 25 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals. Start your agenda. And the Grizzlies, CJ, have won 6 in a row. I asked if we could go streaking. And we have gone streaking this holiday season. It was a very fun weekend at FedEx Forum. And it is very difficult to win 6 games in a row. I will say it is even more difficult to put together a streak against teams that you are supposed to win. And we talked about this stretch of games for the Grizzlies, starting with their game in Chicago last Saturday. And so they go to Chicago, they beat the Bulls. They then come home, and on Monday, they beat the Trailblazers by 25, 1 night off. On Wednesday, they beat the Pistons by 20, 1 night off. On Friday, they beat the Pelicans by 11, 1 night off. And then it's an afternoon game, a matinee, a perfect trap of a scenario, and they go ahead and beat the Pacers by double digits as well. Taylor Jenkins called it the most impressive of the stretch because, yes, they did give up 45 points in the first quarter, which was not ideal. They did find themselves down 19, and yet they came back and won the game and continued the streak.
It was a weird game from the start, and it wasn't. I didn't feel like effort wasn't there. It felt like they were trying. I don't recall the Grizzlies switching the way that they switched yesterday. They were just switching everything, and I don't know if that was we think we can switch on the Pacers type of thing, or if they were working on switches to maybe get ready to play some of these more impressive teams in their conference, or get ready for the playoff run. But I looked up, and first 5 minutes of the game, I was like, yo, why the hell is Desmond Bane and or John Morant battling with Miles Turner on the block? How does that happen?
Multiple times.
And it was throughout the course of the game. And Taylor Jenkins stuck with that on defense, and it did give the Pacers a bit of problems, especially when the Grizzlies settled in. right? That's how Ja Morant ended up with that steal, the second steal, the one you just showed on Miles Turner.
You saw them, right?
Yeah.
You saw one.
Yeah, I saw them
You
both.
saw two.
Yeah, I saw them both. That kind of threw me off, and it felt like once the Grizzlies settled into that style of play and got more accustomed to it, they were much better, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
And the Pacers, a couple of those shots that they take later are the same shots that they took earlier in the game. They just didn't make them. And the Grizzlies made it more difficult. Not so many wide open. For the first quarter, the number of wide open corner threes that the Pacers found themselves taking.
I don't think it was the same shots.
Some of them were.
Because they weren't as wide open.
Correct. But exactly, that's my point.
Yeah.
Is they're in the same spots, but the Grizzlies' defensive effort was so much better on those switches, not allowing them to just have it wide open, getting a hand in the face, getting a body out onto it. The defensive turnaround from allowing those 45 points in the first quarter to then allowing a total of 46 in the second and third was a massive reason why the Grizzlies were able to turn that game around, why they find themselves here on December 2nd with a 6-game winning streak and in third place in the Western Conference. And once we get to a quarter of the way through the season, there is a lot of season left to play, but we are 21 games through. And this is where you can start to see trends. This is where teams do start to establish themselves. And the Grizzlies at 14-7, they are a game behind the Rockets in second. And that was a big game between the Rockets and the Thunder last night. Houston won 119-116 to get closer to the Thunder, who are in first. The Grizzlies just a game and a half out of first place. And considering that this team has not been totally healthy this year, Ja Morant has only played 11 games this year, that's a pretty remarkable place to be. And you see a couple of trends, and obviously we have so many games to get through. I don't think we've ever had, outside of a Christmas break maybe, a show where we had Wednesday's game, which we didn't have a show Thursday because it was Thanksgiving, Friday's game, and Sunday's game. And it feels like the Grizzlies have lived a whole life through that time period. But I think in terms of order of importance of takeaways from the weekend, I'm going to put Marcus Smart at number one. That's going to be my biggest highlight of the weekend, was the reminder to a lot of these people out there who were firing up the trade machines, who could not see the vision of what Marcus Smart was for this team. He's 30. Is he aging out? This weekend proved precisely why he is as valuable as he is for this Grizzlies team. And a part of it is connected with what we have seen in a willingness to come off the bench. Like going into last month, Marcus Smart had started 157 straight games in his career. And then he came back from that injury on November 13th at the game against the Lakers on the road, came off the bench in that, came off the bench against the Warriors in the game following, dealt with the food poisoning that kept him out for a handful of games, and then came back for the Portland game. The Pistons game is where he really thrived and shined, because the Grizzlies were down 9 when he checked in. He was the 10th guy off the bench. They were down 9. He hit a 3. He had a nice assist to Santi. He had a big offensive rebound. And then he had the signature Marcus Smart play where he's in the backcourt, goes for a steal, ends up diving on the ground, goes for the loose ball, has an assist off the ground, and you're like, that's it. That is precisely what you want from Marcus Smart. He had 25 points. He's making 7 threes, taking heat check threes, and you're saying, yes, Marcus Smart, please take this off balance, 11 seconds left on the shot clock 3, because that's how he was playing in that game. And Ja came up after during the post-game interview, I should say, and he said, put respect on my dog's name and end the convo right there. And this team is supporting Marcus, but a part of it has to be attached to Marcus being willing to come off the bench. But like that version of Marcus, that's a 6th man of the year, Marcus Smart.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely it is. Don't need Marcus Smart to be that, though. What he's been that, but he's also been a truer version of Marcus Smart, right? Where it is really good defensively, a good facilitator of the offense, and somebody who sees the game at a really, really high level and can get everybody else where they need to be quickly. There were a couple of times this weekend, there was one that stands out from yesterday, where where the Grizzlies are sprinting back in transition. And first quarter, they did not do well in transition at all. But the Grizzlies are sprinting back in transition, and Marcus Smart is yelling at guys, hey, I've got 2 here. Go there. You go there. Like getting everybody running to where they need to be. When you get tired, you're not thinking. You kind of start going through the motions. That can happen in a game. That can happen in a season. Having somebody on the court who can snap you out of it quickly, Hey, 2 over here. You 2 go there, and get everybody organized defensively. That's huge. That matters. He is able to switch everything. Marcus Smart can go down there and bang with Miles Turner or bang with Pascal Siakam. And I'm fine with that. That defensive versatility that he brings, I absolutely love it. I don't think you can bank on Marcus Smart going 7 of whatever from
that's
3.
Not, it's not that part.
But the other stuff that he does.
Those assists. And again, how he sees the court.
Facilitating that Marcus Smart, that's something that will carry on for the rest of the season. And that's why the Grizzlies have him. Also, you can put 2 of, at all times, 2 of Marcus Smart, Jalen Wells, Vince Williams Jr. on the court. That makes you so much better defensively. And 2 of those dudes you do want to shoot, right? And Wells and Vincent Williams Jr. And Marcus Smart, you want the ball in his hands for facilitation purposes, right? You don't lose a ton offensively with those 2, with 2 of those 3 being on the court at a time.
The lineup versatility continues to be a strength for this team. The depth, like you start seeing trends that are legitimate. The assists for this group are consistently off the charts. Like this is their 5th straight game with 30 or more assists. You're getting to the point where you're not even talking about 30 or more, you're talking about 35 or more assists, which I think has been the last 3 games. They lead the league in assists. It's not just Ja, it's not just Marcus Smart, it's not just Scottie Pippen Jr. There's 7 players averaging 3 or more assists, like Santi Aldama. And again, a great game for Santi, 2 games back-to-back for Santi Aldama. It's going to turn into when they are fully healthy, and we've already talked about this, like who does get left out of the rotation? Jake LaRavia is playing so well right now. I don't know how you make the argument against him, but it does give you...
better. Like that's the.
I know.
Yeah, you make those arguments and you look at it, and it can be matchup dependent. You
well,
got
and
to
that's
tell people to be ready to go. You never know when your numbers are going to be called. If we're playing this type of team, you'll play. If we're playing that type of team, you might not. You got to have tough conversations with people. If you can have it with Marcus.
With Marcus, and that's what I was going to say. If you can have that conversation with Marcus, and I think that's a really important tone setter, like a locker room tone setter, when you have a 30-year-old veteran who came from a team where he and that Celtics group made it to the NBA Finals. He knows what it takes to get to the NBA Finals and make it through the playoffs. If he can accept that kind of a new role for himself, and we talk all the time about how it's not the lineup that starts necessarily, it's who finishes. And right now, we haven't really had the chance to see like what a clutch Grizzlies rotation looks like, because of these 14 wins they've had this season, 12 of them have been by double digits. Like we've gotten the Yuki Kawamura chance consistently, and those chances have been granted. The wishes have been granted. You get to see Yuki because the game by the end of it is already done and over, hammer, nail, coffin.
What would it look like for you? Because I was watching it thinking about that in other lineups. So what would a clutch lineup? Everybody's healthy. What does a clutch lineup look like?
I would go with Ja, Des, Marcus, Jaren, Brandon right now. Oh, everybody healthy?
Everybody
Well,
healthy.
then it depends what the opponent front court situation is. Jaren and Brandon have played so well together through the stretch. And Taylor Jenkins pointed out, a part of that is because of the point of attack defense that has come from Marcus Smart, that has come from Ja Morant. And if Marcus Smart is my biggest takeaway from the weekend, in this 6th man role, embracing this, being what you wanted to see from Marcus Smart, my other biggest takeaway is Ja's defense is legit. Like we've talked about it early through the season, that it feels as if there was a attention to that side of the ball for Ja going into this year. And we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, talk about what we saw from Ja in the, 2 steals that he had, but how he has played defensively, how that continues to open up his game and what it could mean for the Grizzlies. We'll get into all that and more on the other side.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
I can't tell you how many people texted me and thought it was the funniest thing ever that you were sitting on the front row in your jersey.
Yo, no.
You were wearing a Tony Allen jersey on the front row. They're like, yo, tell him to check in.
That joke was smeedy. I told Tia, I said,
I didn't have a hoodie on, though. I mean, a sweater on.
I told Tia, you should have sized up on that joint, man.
Yo, shout out to Robin Hood, man.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
It's the top 5 worst teams in the NFL. I think the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL.
I got the Saints number 1. Ha! Let's put the Aints up there. They're terrible.
I'll take the Titans as my worst team in the NFL. If they played Will Levis, they're for sure the worst team. Maybe in NFL history. Might be worse than the 0-16 Lions if they play Will Levis.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Goldberg announces he's going to have a retirement match in 2025, and he said this on College Game Day.
We know you're trying to ride the coattails because the 2025 is supposed to be the year of John Cena. Goldberg, I have a message for you, my guy. We don't care about your retirement match. Your retirement match was 3 years ago. Go somewhere, go away.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Who will lead the Grizz in steals this season?
I'm going to go with Pippen for steals this season.
So I'm going to go with Jaren.
I'm going to go, as long as he's in the rotation, I'm going to go Jake LaRavia for total steals, and I'll have Marcus Smart in my back pocket for steals per game.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz Beat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Yellow laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges, and you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Welcome back. Grizzlies riding a 6-game winning streak, 3rd in the Western Conference. And we were talking before the break about variation of lineups, Ja Morant's defense. Before we move on from the different lineups you can throw out, something we've seen a couple of times, we've seen Taylor Jenkins roll with Ja, Scotty, and Marcus all in the same lineup. It worked a little bit better on Friday than it did Sunday, but to give 3 players who can all handle the ball, I love seeing Ja be able to be off ball a little bit and what that allows for him to go just straight to the basket. Downhill Ja is a scary, scary force, and with the ball, without the ball, whatever it may be. But I did think yesterday against the Pacers, in a game that was so fast, and the Pacers don't play quite as fast as they played last year, but they still played pretty darn fast. The Grizzlies having that depth, like nobody outside of Desmond Bane had to play 30 minutes in that game. And that's where, when you think about the conversations we had early in the season about minutes distributions and like, why are the stars not playing 30 minutes? Now it's like, oh, what a nice luxury for this team to be able to have fresh legs at the end of a fast game and be able to close it out against the Pacers.
I guess.
I don't think so.
I would have liked for it to be shortened. You got to shorten it. I'm team shorten it, and I know it's going to suck because somebody's getting left out, right? Like, I love what Huff has done this year. I really enjoy him. He might be the favorite player I have on this year's iteration of the Memphis Grizzlies, right? Didn't need to see him yesterday.
He only played 6 minutes.
Yeah, and it was 3 minutes too long, right? Once we decide, as the Grizzlies decided, they're the we. Once the coaching staff decides, hey, we're going to switch everything, yeah, Huff can't play if that's what we're doing. Because he's just, you're going by him defensively, even if you're not switching everything, right? Even if you say, hey, Huff, go grab Pascal, go guard Miles. They're going by him also. So if you're playing teams like that, I don't need to see as much J Huff. And I don't want to be out here cutting people's minutes. I'll wait for them to get cut on their own. But there are a couple other players who I don't mind seeing their minutes go away when everybody gets back healthy. 8 or 9 is what you need. 9 is pushing it. You're running out there with 10 or 11. While they have been impressive, they have won you a bunch of games. A large part of the reason that you've gone streaking is the performance of some of these role players off the bench, some of these guys whose minutes I wouldn't mind seeing cut. You got to cut them at some point. You got to go with your studs out there, man. You just have to. That's how games are won. That's how championships are won. Your best players playing the majority of the game.
It's also one of those things where, like, when you're playing not as good competition, and let's just call it what it is.
That's a part of it.
You can out-depth those teams because once you're tapping to the bench, I think it was the game against the Pistons where the Grizzlies bench had 72 points.
Yeah, the Grizzlies bench is better than what the Pistons can run out there. Absolutely.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hands down. Same with the poor, struggling New Orleans Pelicans who don't have a whole lot going. Yes, they're getting guys back, but they were without Brandon Ingram. They're still without Zion. So when you're able to run that, the Pacers actually, while the Grizzlies out-depth them on paper, the Pacers bench, thanks to TJ McCollum and McCollum.
Every time they said TJ McConnell, I heard CJ McCollum. I was like, wait, the Pacers don't have CJ McCollum, and that one is white
wearing
and
the
short.
Jaw 2s. Yeah,
was it Jaw 2s or Jaw 1s?
I don't know. One of the Jaws.
Okay.
He was wearing Jaw stickers.
Listen, I didn't catch it. Somebody in the chat said it was Jaw 1. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but between him and Obi Toppin, the Pacers actually did get some bench production. And still, the Grizzlies bench outscored. I don't know how many games straight the Grizzlies bench has won. I know they are the second highest scoring bench in the league outside of the Golden State Warriors. I think they're averaging somewhere around 48 points a game. But when you start playing tougher teams, it will be interesting as we see the Grizzlies play the Mavs on Tuesday. And Luka's missed some games, but he could be back on Tuesday. What do they do in that game? What do they do against the Sacramento Kings when they're back in this building on Thursday? This is where you'll start having some more interesting. Who would your closing lineup be? You asked me. Who would yours be?
Everybody healthy.
Yeah, everybody healthy.
Jadez Jaren, which a lot of my lineups start that way.
Sure.
Right? If I was going to do a 3-point lineup, it might be that way. If I was going to do like a rebounding lineup, actually, no. Rebounding lineup, it wouldn't be that way. A defensive lineup, it might also be that way with the improvement that Ja has made on the defensive end. But it would go those 3, and then I would go probably Marcus Smart, and depending on the circumstances of the game, if we're up or down. If we're up, Vince. If we're down, Santi. And go out there with those 5. If I was doing a defensive lineup, it would be Smart at the point, Jalen Wells, Vince again, because I think that with him and Smart on the court, they can guard smaller and bigger defenders, bigger offensive players, and then I throw Jaren out there for that, right? Like it's good to have
Jaren's been
a lot of versatility.
Incredible.
But Jaren is the anchor for a lot of these lineups because he's good offensively and he's elite defensively. I think right now he's the 3rd highest scoring power forward in the league, and he's 2nd in the league from a power forward standpoint in blocks per game and top 5 in steals per game at the position. I do believe the only power forward playing better than Jaren right now is Anthony Davis, and it's not that many bigs playing better than Jaren right now. He's a top 3 big in the league right now, and I think he's the reason why you are allowed to be a bit more versatile out there on the perimeter with your lineups, and why you can really get into dudes and pressure dudes on the ball, because you know Jaren's back there and he's going to be able to erase a shot either with a block or a contest, or just the mere thought of him discourages people from trying to go to the rim.
And the consistency on offense has been massive. And you can see the intent of Ja feeding him to the connection between those two. It's been growing for years at this point. And Ja tweeted last night, Trip J All-Star. Jaren said, not without you, bro. Both are playing at an all-star level. I would say right now, Jaren probably has a easier path, even though the West is a difficult period and being named an all-star is difficult. But just because Jaren's played more games, and right now Ja is fighting against having only had played 11. That's not to say he can't play his way into getting an all-star appearance this year, because it would be tremendous to see both Ja and Jaren. I will put a pin. I had to put the pin in it last week on the Desmond Bane Choo-Choo for All-Star campaign.
What's the deal with him?
I think it was great to see him get the ball in the basket a couple times yesterday, and he led the team in shot attempts. I do think there's something to be said about, as everybody is readjusting to new minutes distributions, new role distributions, even Des having had to play, coming back from injury when Ja is out, having to be a little bit more on ball, what that means for him in terms of the shots he's taking. Just learning where your exact fit is with this group will be something that everyone has to go through. We do this with Desmond Bane almost every year, where he goes through some kind of a slump. I'm not concerned.
It doesn't feel like we do. It doesn't feel like it's this.
I think we forget.
Okay.
I think we are prisoners of the Desmond Bane can pull up from anywhere, anytime, and you watch with confidence by the end of the season that there have been these lulls throughout his career. He was the walk-off interview yesterday and just asked, how good did it feel to see it go in? He said, never a doubt. And that's the mentality that you have to continue with if you're Des. Now, it certainly helps how the Grizzlies are playing. You go back to the depth where it's like in those games where he was in single-digit scoring, and yesterday he broke a 3-game skid where he'd been in single digits with 16. You haven't needed him to be like lights out on the scoring side. And he has impacted the game in other ways. Even yesterday, again, the defense for this entire team, I think, is starting to level up and feel itself. He had a steal late in the game, turned around, brought it back on the other end and laid it in. I'm still not concerned with him. How Jalen Wells has been playing continues to be I don't want to call it a Band-Aid for that, but you're getting multiple threes almost every game from Jalen. We went through this whole segment. Ja's defense. He is no longer a traffic cone at all. Like, he has been really establishing himself as a two-way player. And I think that is such a testament to what great players do. Great players take weaknesses and turn them into strengths. And Ja's athleticism, and we see his hang time and what he is able to do from a highlight perspective on the offensive end, to now see it on the defensive end is scary. And yesterday afternoon, it was a matinee. I constantly said yesterday, last night, tonight. It was in the middle of the afternoon. I did think there was a statement to be made from Ja. We can all move past it, but there was a conversation over a year ago of who's the better point guard, Ja Morant or Tyrese Halliburton. And last night was a very clear indication of where Ja Morant stands, both on the offensive side and on the defensive side. And if he can be that throughout this year, that is just one more notch on why this Grizzlies team can be one of the contenders in the West. I've just been beyond impressed with how Ja's played defense.
Yeah, he's played at a high level, and that's what you need from your best player. We saw that last year in the Mavericks, right? The difference in last year's Mavericks and Mavericks of years past is Luka's commitment to the defensive end was much higher last year in the playoffs. And that helped them just not being somebody who teams can hunt out, attack, and take advantage of. That matters. And if you're the best player on the court and you're the best player on your team, you should want to step up and take on that defensive challenge. We saw Luka do it last year in the playoffs, helping the Mavericks get to the NBA Finals, and we see Ja doing that now. And you need that. And you think about the Grizzlies' best players. Jaren is a good defender. Bane is a serviceable defender. Come on, Ja, step in with us. Be like the rest of us. We're the core right here. We got to be able to play defense. It's nice to see Ja seek that challenge out, welcome it, and like you said, turn that weakness into less of a weakness. I'm not going to call it a strength, but less of a weakness.
Getting there.
That all you need is for him to not be god-awful defensively. Be as close to average as you can be. Steph Curry is a great example of that. Steph's not a great defender. He's not a good defender. He's around average.
Serviceable.
He's serviceable. Can you be that? And Ja right now is being that, and that's huge.
Do you think it has anything to do with not having to play so many minutes?
No.
Like being fresher?
No.
More energy?
No. It's here.
Yeah.
It is, hey,
It's effort.
I want to be a good defender. Let me go out there and defend dudes. Also, listen, when you come into the league, if you're somebody like Ja Morant, you're not 21 yet. We don't talk enough about how much our bodies change we talk about the big change during puberty, right? Barely, but we talk about that. We don't talk about the rest of the times your body changes. Your body doesn't change just once. Your body changes like 5 or 6 times in your life. And one of those changes for dudes is right around 23, 24, where you get that grown man strength. So he is stronger also, meaning that when offensive players bump into him, he's not getting bumped completely out of the frame.
Yeah.
He's got the strength to stay there physically and the quickness to also still be there. So that's a part of it too. It's a mental thing.
I was going to say bodies change and mentals change.
Mental and like physical strength.
All right, Grizzlies 6 wins in a row. We'll take a break. Gary Parrish is going to join us on the other side. We'll ask him about this Grizzlies win streak, about the play of Marcus Smart, Ja Morant, the rest of this group. Plus, Gary. No, I almost kicked my phone off the table. I forgot to charge it last night. Sorry, I'm a little jittery. Haven't been here in, 4 days.
We hadn't even talked about Wicked.
Twist my heart. I tried to take a break. I didn't bring it up. Everyone in my life would like me to shut up about Wicked. But CJ saw it. We'll talk about it eventually. Gary was in New York. We'll find out, did he go to the parade? We'll find out how he has dealt with some people getting a little upset about some words that he had to say about Dan Hurley on his Eye on College Basketball podcast. Plus, the Memphis Tigers should be ranked in the AP Top 25 when it comes out later today. We'll get GP's take on all that and more when we come back.
Laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges.
I gotta get 'em.
And you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping. It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the form rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane 3. Yes, sir! Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Look Looking for a fun way to get your child active and involved with the Memphis Grizzlies? Ball out on the Grizzlies home court at Junior Grizzlies Game Day Clinics. Presented by Ortho South. Get your game ready for the big leagues. The first Junior Grizzlies Clinic tips off November 25th before the Grizzlies versus Trailblazers game. Take your child's skills to the next level by signing up at grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies. That's grizzlies.com/Junior Grizzlies. Don't miss out.
D'Anthony Melton took my boys, my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, guess who their favorite player is now? John Morant. But outside of that, D'Anthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got youth small D'Anthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Love D'Anthony Melton. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Goldberg announces he's going to have a retirement match in 2025, and he said this on College Game Day.
We know you're trying to ride the coattails because the 2025 is supposed to be the year of John Cena. Goldberg, I have a message for you, my guy. We don't care about your retirement match. Your retirement match was 3 years ago. Go somewhere, go away.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back. It is Monday. That means it's time to catch up with Gary Parrish, host of the Gary Parrish Show, weekday mornings at 10 a.m. on Grind City Media. GP, how's it going?
It's going all right.
Are you doing a little Tuesday?
No, I got my one up in honor of Roman Reigns. He's the original tribal chief.
He sure is.
He was victorious this weekend.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Of all the things that happened this
yes,
weekend.
that was the thing. That was the biggest thing.
That was the biggest one.
Yes.
You had it, first of all, I have to ask, because we, once upon a time, talked with you about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Sure.
You said it was overrated.
I believe
heard that you were going to go.
Yeah.
Then it was pouring down rain on Thanksgiving. Did you attend the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
There were a lot of obstacles in front of me. One, I was up till about 4 in the morning.
Okay.
2, it was raining and cold. And so let's count that. Let's make that 3.
Okay.
I went outside. I saw the parade, and I was going to walk all the way down to Macy's. It's about a 15-minute walk. And then I walked. I'm at 54th, and I walked to about 48th. And it was like, it's raining and it's cold. What am I doing? Like, who am I trying to impress? Like, what?
Us.
I really had this thought. Am I really doing this because I want to do it or so that I can say that I did it? And I went through a stretch in my life where I did things so I could say that I did it. I went through a stretch where I got into a habit where I was in all these amazing places, and I was just in the hotel all the time. I just was happy to be in the hotel and look at my phone. And I said, this is a waste. I'm in these amazing cities all the time, and I'm not doing anything with it. I could be in Milwaukee or Minneapolis or Paris or Tupelo, and I don't treat it any differently. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So then I would go and I would have the nicest dinners you could have in every city. And I would just check them off of this list. Like, I've been to that place and I've been to that place. And then I was like, who am I doing this for? I don't even want to go to these places. I'm just doing it so I can say I did it. And I had that thought on Thursday morning. And
Doesn't
I
that feel like ages ago?
Yeah. And so I turned around, I went back to my hotel and I turned on the television. And
Did you watch it?
So I saw it in person and I saw it on TV. And I can confirm it's just better on TV than it is in person. It's just a better television product than it is a in-person product. But I think a lot of things are that way these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the NFL is. Someone brought this point up over the weekend that college football is I forget exactly how they put it, but college football is an experience still, and so to go to a college football game feels different. The corporatization of an NFL game, sure, you have a lot of fun and you can go and the diehards are there, but it just feels different. Like the NFL, you can watch on TV and have a very similar experience, whereas college football, there's something different that comes out when you are at a college football game.
Yeah, because it's the whole, like, when I go to when I go to Ole Miss, and I don't go as often as I should, I mean, it's just right down the street, and it's like, I have people from all the country say, man, I'd love to come to Oxford for a game, and it's just right down the street. I never go. But when I do go, I don't even want to go to the football game. I don't care about the game. In fact, the last time I went to an Ole Miss game We got down there 4 hours early, had a wonderful time, went to the game, left at halftime, went right back to the Grove, and just hung out there. I'd rather do that. So I struggle with this. My kids, my middle guy, they've sort of got attached to just Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and the Travis Kelce. They like all that. And they want to go to an NFL game. And I'm going to take them. But it's like, I don't really, it just feels like we'd just be going. And they would always have that memory, but it just it's just a game. It just feels like it's a game. I don't really care about it. So yeah, college football, I would enjoy going to those. NFL games, I don't care that much.
Yeah, and Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, I just don't care that much.
Yeah, it was you know.
I think it's one of the most wholesome things we still do as a society. Like I went on a run on Thanksgiving morning because I don't know if I've told you, as I've told everyone over and over and over again, I'm doing the St. Jude Half Marathon next weekend.
Oh, that's
After
amazing.
the whole little laryngitis about we're behind on the training schedule and my survival is questionable.
Well, good for you. Make sure to tell everybody you see.
Thanks. I'm gonna continue all week telling people that on Thanksgiving I had to run 5 miles, and then on Saturday I ran 10.
Oh wow!
I did listen to the Michigan-Ohio State game during that run, which really helped inspire. I was like, oh, if Michigan can go into the Ohio Soft University and do that, I can run 10 miles.
That's
anyway,
right.
all that to say, I watched the parade. I'm weird. I like to watch / listen to things while I run, as opposed to just music. I like to add some versatility.
Sure.
And so I had the parade on as I was running, but it just struck me.
Do you find it to be a distraction? Like a good distraction?
Sometimes.
When I get on the treadmill, I made a mistake. I bought a Peloton.
Oh, congrats.
You want it? It's just sitting
No.
there. You can have it.
The bike or the treadmill?
Yeah, all of it.
All
No,
of
we have
it.
the bike.
Oh, you have the
Not
bike.
the treadmill.
No, I have a bike. Thank you, though.
I had to have the Peloton. And I learned that I don't like to exercise unless I'm distracted. I don't like to focus on exercising.
Oh, yeah. No, I can't just like raw dog
So I like to get on.
Let's be perfectly
I like to get on
clear.
a treadmill and watch a movie.
Me too.
I like to get on a treadmill and watch. I need to be doing something.
I especially like to get on the bike and watch something. Or like Chris and I, we're like very dedicated to our workout regimen. So every night we work out and watch either a documentary.
Perfect.
Or on Mondays we watch John Oliver. On Tuesdays we've been watching Jon Stewart.
Perfect.
But we have to have something.
Right. I can't just get on the Peloton and listen to this man or woman say, come on, keep going.
Correct. Which is how I end up running to the Macy's Thanksgiving
There you
Day
go.
Parade
Perfect.
on Thanksgiving
Right.
morning. But it just struck me how like sweet and innocent it is, and it's just these balloons and people who are there having a good time and wanting to wish their relatives well when the NBC crew comes up and says, anything you'd like to say for the crowd out here? And
it is sweet. I did have a moment where you're sort of, and I'm looking at the kids, and my kids, I think all of my kids have been to the Macy's parade at this point. Maybe not Louis. Maybe he's a little too young for it. But I know Aiden's been multiple times, and I think Oliver's been. But so I didn't have them with me. I was like a little. You don't feel like it's something you should be doing alone. You know, like why am I here by myself?
Going to a children's movie and going to the Thanksgiving Day.
I didn't mean it like I didn't feel like a pedophile, but I just felt like this is not the type. I shared this. I shared this sentiment with Matt Norlander. He just got back from Maui. He went to the Maui Invitational, and when I went to Maui for it, I was by myself. I was working, of course I was by myself. But I was like, this is too nice to be. I don't know, like I should be here with people.
Right.
You know, I shouldn't be here by myself. And that's I had that experience with the parade on Thursday. Like I was walking around and I saw the families and the kids, and it was all sweet and wet, but sweet. And but I just I liked seeing the kids having a good you know, these kids this is something they've been looking forward to. I enjoyed that for like 7 minutes. Then I went back to my hotel.
Speaking of Maui, we'll get to the Memphis Tigers performance and getting to the championship game, losing to Auburn. They should be ranked. But I think the biggest story to come out of Maui ended up being Dan Hurley and UConn. And Memphis's win over UConn, unfortunately not looking quite as sexy as it did the second that it happened. Not taking away from it, but UConn ends up going winless.
Yeah, they went 0-3 with 3 losses to unranked teams at the time. Yeah.
And Dan Hurley's, we'll call them antics, they were all over my timeline.
Of course.
And many. If you follow college basketball, if you follow sports at all, you saw at least one joke about Dan Hurley's meltdowns from Maui. Now, you went on your other podcast, Eye on College Basketball podcast with CBS and Matt Norlander, and you made a comparison that I actually thought was very true in comparing Dan Hurley to Kanye West, which if you just said that sentence, you'd say, what are you doing? But explain what you meant by that.
Of course, Dan was all over your timeline. He was all over everybody's timeline.
He's so memeable.
Yes. And, you combine it with, he's a big deal now. He's the face of the sport in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Back-to-back national champion, trying to three-peat, had a preseason top 5 team. There's a lot of eyeballs on him. And obviously, by the time they got to Maui, it went sideways. They lose to Memphis, and that was a sign of things to come. Then they lost again, then they lost again. Then got a tech against Memphis. He was all over the place on the sideline.
On the ground.
Literally on the ground for, nearly every minute of every game in Maui. And it became you're right. It became the biggest story out of Maui. Yeah. Not because I wrote about it.
Not how good Auburn played
that
and how
the story.
legitimate they looked. No, the story was Dan Hurley.
Right. And UConn going on 3. Mm-hmm. That was the story. Not because I wrote about it, because I didn't. Other people did. Mm. Not because I tweeted about it, because I don't think I did. It was just everywhere. Mm-hmm. You don't even have to follow the Maui Invitational or college basketball. You were going to run into it. So in talking about it with Matt Norlander on Friday's podcast, because Matt had not only been in Maui, but had all access with UConn. He was in the locker room. He was with Dan. He talked to Dan both on the record, off the record. So this was the first time Matt and I had reconvened since all of this has happened. So it's a natural conversation. So, hey, you were with Dan, how's that? And so we start talking about it. And the point I made is, because I went back and listened to it, we talk all the time.
Right.
And sometimes you go, did I say it the way I wanted to say it? I went back and listened to it, and I swear, there are times when I go back and listen to things and I'm like,
I could have said that better or differently.
100%. I'm very comfortable with what I said. Mm-hmm. The point I made is that we've reached a point with other people, and we are in this moment with Dan Hurley where they're accomplished and they're brilliant, and yet it's not what most people think of first when we think of this person. The first person I mentioned was Bob Knight, because you want to keep it in basketball. Mm-hmm. Bob Knight died earlier this year. And when he died, everybody who has a job like me gets asked to say something about Bob Knight. Did you know Bob Knight? Did you ever spend time with Bob Knight? What's Bob Knight's legacy? You go on CBS Sports HQ, anywhere you can talk about stuff and people want to talk. You better say something about Bob Knight. Mm-hmm. And you know what we should say about Bob Knight? One of the greatest coaches of all time. Won gold medals with USA Basketball, won national championships, had an undefeated season, is the architect of the last undefeated season. Never a hint of NCAA rules violations. What an amazing career. But you can't stop there. You always have to go to, and he said this, and he did that, and he did that, and he did that. My point being, when you talk about Bob Knight, it's never simply about his brilliance and accomplishments. The other stuff's a part of the story. In fact, sometimes the biggest part of the story.
If you do word association with Bob Knight.
It's not brilliant basketball coach.
It's chair.
There you go.
If it's a single word,
yeah.
That's the first thing that comes. And with Dan Hurley right now.
Right. So,
crazy.
So you said it, not me.
I know, and I don't, and that's not taking
everybody's
away
saying
from. And again, you can say that without taking away from the fact that he is the face of college basketball right now, back-to-back national championships.
So then I literally said, and if you want to take it outside of sports, in other words, just to give you another example, not of somebody who is like Dan Hurley, but of somebody who is brilliant, accomplished, but when you say their name, you don't think of that stuff. I said, if you want to go outside of sports, you go to Kanye West. Brilliant, accomplished.
They didn't like that, Gary.
But when you say his name, people think of what they see on TMZ more than what they think of what he's actually done and contributed. I said, so what I would hate is for Dan's behavior to take away from his accomplishments and his brilliance. I would hate for one night to turn on Saturday Night Live and somebody says, there's going to be a Dan Hurley skit tonight, and it's not about him being the best basketball coach in the country. It's about him being uneven on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And I even added, in different ways at different times, struggle with my own emotions. Like I do. I get bothered. I get easily agitated. And you have to work on that.
Right.
And I know what that's like. I know what it's like to try to be different than you naturally are in intense moments or uncomfortable moments or awkward moments or whatever. So then I even added empathy. Like I understand what he's dealing with on some level. And when people say he should just stop doing that, it's not as easy.
It's not that simple.
It's not that simple.
And also it's one of those things where the spotlight it changes when you're losing. Like
100%.
It's a kitschy, funny look
when you're
at Dan
up
Hurley
17
when you're
on
winning.
Purdue
Right.
in the title game, beating everybody by double digits, it's like, man, Dan Hurley. But when you are getting teed up in the final minute of a game that you lose in part because of you, and then after the game, rather than say,
That's on
I
me.
put you just double down on the refs did that, it's not my fault. It's going to bring unwanted attention on you. So this is the way this stuff works. It's some, I don't want to diminish anybody, but it's a podcast host and connect with some UConn-centric thing, and they just tweet something as simple as Gary Parrish called Dan Hurley Kanye West or something like that. It's just mischaracterized. It's without context. It's cheap. And so I responded to, and then it just turns into everything it turns into. Like I said,
when that kind of thing happens to you,
yeah.
do you just like put down the phone at some point?
No, I'm never good at that. Honestly, I don't care usually.
That's good.
I just don't, whatever. I'm comfortable with what I said. I don't know these people.
Right.
I didn't like this one because
You felt like you were misinterpreted.
I know I was misinterpreted. But beyond that, I'm misinterpreted all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I have learned at some point, you can speak as clearly and concisely. I'm not concise, but but clear. I'm clear, and directly and intentionally, and people are still going to hear what they want to hear. Yeah. I think about this all the time. Go look at Stephen A. Smith's mentions at any point, at any day. Right. I don't care what he says, really, about much, but there are people misinterpreting or mischaracterizing what he says every day. It's just the world we live in. So I usually I don't even blink at it. I don't like that because I like Dan Hurley. Mm-hmm. I like his wife. I like his father. I like his brother. I know these people. These are people I like and enjoy. And because I don't think Dan Hurley on a 3-game losing streak is sitting around listening to the Eye on College Basketball podcast. The only thing he sees is Gary Parrish called Dan Hurley Kanye West. So that's why I felt compelled to address it, because that's not what I did. And it was cheap for somebody to portray it that way. But I went back and listened to it, and I swear to God, I'm not above this. If there was something in there I was uncomfortable with, I would pick up the phone and call Dan and say, yo, I said something and I didn't like the way I've done that before. I'm comfortable with what I said, and if other people aren't, then I don't want to be so arrogant as to say that's your problem, because it's my. I don't feel good about it. Mm-hmm. I don't like that, but I don't take back what I said. I feel like it was a reasonable point to make.
All right. It's a Monday, so we have to take a break.
Oh, I love breaks.
But you're going to be here on the other side. And we'll talk about the Memphis Tigers, who should be ranked.
Yes.
When the AP poll comes out, we'll see where you think that ranking could be when we come back.
Every time you go to Miami, you can go see, that's a statue of me there.
No, I don't look nothing like that thing, man. Look, I'm sorry.
I would have been offended.
Look at that. That is UTA.
Oh, my God. Oh, look. Hey, y'all got to get that screenshot, man. Put that on the...
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
D'Anthony Melton took my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, guess who their favorite player is now? John Morant. But outside of that, D'Anthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got youth small D'Anthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Love D'Anthony Melton. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
It's the top 5 worst teams in the NFL. I think the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL.
I got the Saints number 1. Ha ha ha! Let's put the Aints up there. They're terrible.
I'll take the Titans as my worst team in the NFL. If they played Will Levis, they're for sure the worst team. Maybe in NFL history. Might be worse than the 0-16 Lions if they play Will Levis.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com. Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Yellow laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges.
I gotta get 'em.
And you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
So Dan Hurley says he doesn't think UConn will ever do a 3-game MTE ever again, a multi-team event for those unfamiliar with the lingo. Moving forward, they'll only play home and homes and single-game events in big-time arenas. But for the Memphis Tigers, they went to Maui, and they had a pretty good time. Came up against a juggernaut in the championship game in Auburn, but go 2-1 with wins over UConn and Michigan State. What was your overall takeaway from Penny Hardaway's team?
The championship game got away from them pretty quickly. I think they just got beat by a better team. I think Auburn's really good. Arguably the best team in the country. Certainly projected that way in certain computers. I think number one at KenPom right now. The new net rankings came out. Tennessee's number one in those, in the debut of that. But however you want to do it, 2-1 in Maui, 6-1 through 7 games, probably ranked in the next couple of hours. It's all good stuff. Like this is where you wanted to be. Obviously, 7-0 is better than 6-1, but there's not a Memphian, including Penny Hardaway, who if you'd have said 6-1 through 7, you take it. Of course, yeah, this is good. It's a good spot. They should be ranked. I've got them. I don't want to misquote myself, so let's look it up together. But I've got them in the top 15. I've got Memphis at number 14 right now. And I would think they come in somewhere around there, 14 to 20, somewhere in that range in the AP poll today. I would expect. PJ
Haggerty had another great performance in the loss and was the, what do they call it, first team All-Maui Invitational. First team All-Maui.
They make those teams for all these events. Like I don't even think it makes your Wikipedia page.
In terms of collecting accolades,
sure,
first team I want first team All-Maui.
I would like to be
I would be first team All-Oahu.
Of course you would.
You know, that's where we go back with. But coming out of it, I mean, you watch a ton of college basketball, and the framing of both PJ Haggerty and Tyrese Hunter as one of the best backcourts in college basketball this season. Do you agree?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they're both older. Like Haggerty's doing it here. Tyrese Hunter's done it other places. Hunter's won not national championships, but like he's won, you know, at a reasonable level at multiple high major schools. I don't know that they're the best backcourt in the country, but it was clear in that UConn game. Oh, wow. UConn's trying to three-peat, and Memphis has better guards. They do. Yeah, they're really good. That's the strength of the team, no question. You know, Haggerty looks like he can be – I mean, it looks like either he or Hunter will probably be the AAC Player of the Year. And so with just the way they're playing, the way Memphis is performed, the way the rest of the league looks, you know, I don't know what the – AAC coaches were doing in the preseason, but it's pretty clear at this point, if Memphis doesn't win the AAC, something has gone terribly wrong.
Right. UAB, the preseason favorite in the AAC, number 260 in the opening net.
Yeah, they're bad.
Rankings. We're talking about the net.
Yeah.
The net is here. And our friend John Martin pointed out that 0 quad one opportunities for Memphis coming up in AAC play.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we've talked about.
Expected.
Yeah.
Which is why this opening start to the season was even more important.
I mean, the most important.
Critical.
They needed this start more than a Kansas or a Houston or a Kentucky, because all of those types of teams in power conferences are going to have an opportunity to build their at-large resumes January through March in their leagues. Memphis has no such opportunity. You can't build an at-large resume in the AAC. So you have to build it in November, December, and so far, so good. We're not there yet. Remember, they were ranked 10th in the country in January last year.
Yeah.
Okay? So let's not chicken count quite yet, but they're off to as good of a start as you could reasonably hope for.
They're 31 in the net rankings. Does that feel low?
Nah, like that's going to line up with Ken Palm. I mean, at Ken Palm right now, they're 31 too. Yeah. So that's about where they're at. It's on resume, I think they deserve to be ranked. But if you really start digging into the analytics and offensive efficiency numbers, defensive efficiency numbers, it's not quite top 25 level. Yeah. But on resume, when your lone loss is to maybe the number one team in the country, certainly a top 2 team in the country based on rankings, and you've got wins over Connecticut, Michigan State, San Francisco, that's worthy of being ranked.
Memphis 31, North Texas 59, Wichita State 93, FAU 107, Temple 111.
Well, the good news, perhaps, is John Canzano did report over the Thanksgiving holiday that the Pac-12, the new Pac-12 is still working on TV stuff, but they're encouraged. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
But they're encouraged.
I have my visor in my backpack just in case the morning comes.
But John, I mean, I know what he wrote, but I can just tell you, like, John and I communicated. He thinks they're going to maybe circle back to Memphis and just say, hey, are you sure? And I hope that Memphis, I actually think the way this basketball season, this football season is going has maybe helped the Memphis administration understand maybe we need to take a closer look, a more serious look at this opportunity that's in front of us. Because as we've talked about, the new Pac-12, it's not the Big 12, it's not the ACC, but it's clearly better than the AAC. And your fans don't care about this. Your football program just won its 10th game of the year. I don't want to say nobody cares because that would be dismissive to a fault. But enough people don't care to where you can get the type of crowds you think you should get at the Liberty Bowl. We'll see what happens with the basketball program because there is a precedent for John Calipari having ranked teams play bad opponents and get good crowds. We've done this before, so perhaps you can do that with basketball, but I'm not certain of it. And it would just, a basketball schedule with Gonzaga and San Diego State coming in.
Yeah. And
a football schedule with better football programs coming in, like that would it wouldn't fix everything, but it would improve a lot. And we'll see what happens. But I did think it was encouraging that Canzano believes the Pac-12 and Memphis, those conversations might not be done.
Yeah, I do think from an attendance standpoint, like it is something about this city that is very opponent driven because even coming out of this 4-game homestand, the crowds were good. They weren't great for the Grizzlies. And I know everyone would love to see more people in the building. This is the number 3 team in the Western Conference right now. You have the most exciting player in the NBA in John Morant. And yet I heard a lot of rumblings around the city of, they're playing the Pistons. They're playing the Trailblazers. They're playing the Pelicans. And in other places, it doesn't matter where you're playing. I know I'm comparing college to NBA, but it does situate itself city-wise where it feels like it has to be a marquee event for everybody to get up and get out. And
it's tough. Like, I don't know if this is still true, but there was a time when the Bulls were selling out every game. And this was like post Michael Jordan, they were just whatever. They're just the Bulls, but they still sell out every game. Well, it's Chicago. A billion people there. That's an exaggeration, but you get the point. We both love this place.
Right.
Same as Dan Hurley, we can talk about it honestly. It's a small market, poor city.
Right.
It's hard. Unless you have season tickets, to just wake up and decide I'm going to take my family to a Grizzlies game and get good seats today. It's not
that easy.
We're a small market, poor city. That's the simplest way to explain things. It's challenging. It's why when I hear people say things like, well, the owner's worth $1 bazillion. Why couldn't he put some money in it? Because we are lucky he is willing to put this team here. you and I more than most, but like we're fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
If Robert Parra ever decided he wanted to maximize the value of his NBA franchise, he would get it out of here. We have it here, and that's why I hope people appreciate that, understand it, and support it as much as they can.
Right.
But while recognizing, not everybody has money growing on trees. And not everybody has season tickets.
I wish money grew on trees.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Wouldn't it be great?
Wouldn't it?
Well, at least for now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, more and more people will start to take notice.
I think
a 6-game winning streak can do a lot.
That helps.
Winning at home, in comparison, we didn't see a whole lot of wins in this building last year. I didn't get to hear. All we do is win and see the streamers fall from the sky.
Well, what day was the afternoon game?
Yesterday.
No, before that.
Yesterday. The 4 o'clock game?
The 4 o'clock game.
That was Friday.
Okay, that one.
That was the Pelicans.
We had friends going to that one. And they were deciding, this is a perfect example. They were trying to decide whether to go.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 1 in the afternoon. Should we go or not? And they're like, my friend, the woman, she said, well, who are they playing? Didn't even know that. I was like, the Pelicans. She's like, are they good? I was like, nah, not really. And I said, but Ja's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be enough for some people. So they came to the game. It's like an opportunity to see Ja. Ja's healthy is good enough.
Exact same regard. In-laws were in town. Monday's game against the Portland Trailblazers. My husband was like, I'm trying to take him to a game. What would be the cheapest? Maybe the Portland Trailblazers. Takes him, and it's Ja's massive game, and it's so fun.
Right.
And they were like, wow, does that happen every game? And they're not from here. They're from the Bay Area.
Sure.
Like, they're pseudo Warriors fans because my husband's a Warriors fan, but like they don't go to NBA games all the time. And they were like, that was the most fun I've ever had at a basketball game. And it did not matter who was on the other side. It was Ja Morant dunking on someone's head.
That's right.
Ja Morant, no-look passes, the energy that picks up in that building.
Yeah, just to circle back to my friends. So they ended up going to the Pelicans game and literally said, we had a blast.
Yeah.
He is that type of player. He's, I'm not saying, I'm not getting preachy, usually, but he's.
No, it's just a fact.
Yeah, he's the deal.
It doesn't have to be preachy.
He's why should we go to a Grizzlies game? Because one of the most amazing basketball talents in the world is calls FedEx Forum home. He does not disappoint. I know people get distracted by all the other stuff and he hasn't been as healthy as we'd like and whatever, but when he's on the court, I think you can make a reasonable argument there's nobody more enjoyable to watch play basketball than Ja Morant. Are there better players? Perhaps, Nikola Jokic is okay. Giannis is all right. But I don't know that anybody is more enjoyable to watch play basketball than Ja Morant. And, when healthy, he's scheduled to do it 41 times a year in that building.
All right, Gary, we got to let you go.
Oh, I was having so much fun.
We'll see you next time.
I'll be here, I guess.
We got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the really nice and kind rivalry weekend in college football. Absolutely everybody was very humble in their wins, and no fights were had, no flags were planted. We had all of that. Ohio soft. Okay, CJ will have his moment.
Quarterback, what are you doing?
All that and more when we come back.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Anticipate each challenge. Make a quick response. Capitalize on every opportunity. And win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Southland Casino Hotel is helping you navigate to Santa. Win your share of up to $340,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Here Comes Santa kicks off November 24th. Get one free entry and earn additional entries for weekly Saturday drawings. Don't forget the grand finale drawing on Saturday, December 21st to win up to $5,000 in free play or a 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Win big during Here Comes Santa, only at Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quoting, call 800-522-4700. Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
We didn't talk about owling, and you're telling me you didn't know owling?
What the hell is an owling?
Owling is worse than Tebowing.
What is an
How
owling?
far can Kyra zoom out on this camera?
She can zoom all the way out.
Can
Are
she
you gonna
zoom
hit us?
out?
What are you doing?
I'm owling.
Okay. Wait, why were we doing this? What is that?
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping. It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the form rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane three, yes sir! Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
It's the top 5 worst teams in the NFL. I think the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL.
I got the Saints number 1. Ha ha ha! Let's put the Aints up there. They're terrible.
I'll take the Titans as my worst team in the NFL. If they played Will Levis, they're for sure the worst team. Maybe in NFL history. Might be worse than the 0-16 Lions if they play Will Levis.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Goldberg announces he's going to have a retirement match in 2025, and he said this on College Game Day.
We know you're trying to ride the coattails because the 2025 is supposed to be the year of John Cena. Goldberg, I have a message for you, my guy. We don't care about your retirement match. Your retirement match was 3 years ago. Go somewhere, go away.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Chugga, 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 chugga. Welcome back. What are you laughing at?
Kyra is struggling today.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. Long breaks do that to people.
It's really weird too because break from the show.
Yep.
But we had 3 games since we last did the show.
When did your mind turn on, though?
I was going to say turn off, never.
When did it turn on? It's showtime, right? Because even with the games, your mind's probably not turning on till the earliest. Yesterday was a 2:30 tip. The earliest was 11?
No, my brain first turned on during the Georgia Tech game. Because
And it just
I
never
wanted,
turned off?
No, it never turned off.
Really?
Because I wanted to go to sleep. My brain never turns off for the show. I'm always working for this here show, thinking about how or what we want to talk about. And especially on a long weekend, you forget things. So you're like, oh no, this was important and I wanted to talk about this.
Well, we also don't have.
And then you forget.
It's bad enough we're doing 2 hours. We'd have to do a 4-hour show to
Oh
get
my
to
God.
everything on the weekend.
Blessings.
You and Gary were talking about Grizz games, and
Yes.
they are a ton of fun.
They sure are. And guess what? We have a ton of deals.
Do we?
Yeah. Including.
You and I?
Yeah, we.
Oh, okay.
To give the people.
Oh, okay.
60% off tickets for games.
60%?
In December and January.
60%
Sign
off?
up for all of the Cyber Monday deals.
They're giving tickets 60%?
60% off.
Do you know
60.
If I could have made a 60% in Latin 1, I'd have been really pleased with myself. 60% is a lot of percent.
You would have failed Latin 1.
I failed Latin 1 with like a 40. Like, there's a big difference in failing with a 40 and failing with a 60 now.
There is a
60%. I didn't know the deal was that much.
One-stop shop for all of your Grizzlies holiday gifts. You can go to grizzlies.com/gift guide and find it there. I just got, it was my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Carl.
Commish!
It was his birthday yesterday, December 1st, starting the month. I have two men in my life with December birthdays. My dad on the 1st and my husband on the 20th. It's like a back-to-back birthday Christmases.
And Christmas. Ugh.
I
That's
know.
disgusting.
And my husband is the one who's like, my whole life people forgot. Sorry, Chris. I'm so sorry to do that. We just made it through. We hosted our in-laws. We've been through it with some dogs this weekend. I will not do the sad Chris, my birthday.
No, do it again, no.
My whole life, people combined my birthday and Christmas, and I never felt special. My name's Chris, not Christ. One is that birthday, the other's this birthday. But alas, for my dad, I got him a really cool quarter zip over at the Grizzlies team store with the Memphis Sounds logo, because my dad loves like a logo that gets people talking. My dad loves nothing more than a logo that makes somebody ask the question, hey, what is that logo?
I've seen it in action about an hour and a half
true.
right out there outside of the plaza, right there. What do we call that area?
The plaza.
Is that the plaza? So the outside plaza, not the inside plaza.
What is it called?
I don't know, but the outside plaza, him and Jimmy Ogle just going back and forth about logos,
About logos.
and various things.
Loves a logo.
It was incredible.
And that one is a great one. I know so many people got themselves the cardigan of the old school, which is a
nice
great
cardigan.
cardigan.
That's a good cardigan.
But I got him
cardigan
the
with
quarter
the
zip.
hat.
There's nothing better. Get someone you love a Memphis Grizzlies themed present. If you can't figure out what to get someone, because gifting can be hard, might I suggest the Memphis Grizzlies team store can
And hell,
inspire you.
If they're giving tickets away at 60%
What an ad.
off.
What an ad from us.
Like, shit. I might buy some of those tickets.
Alex in the chat
60%
said,
off.
what is this voice? Did you marry Tiny Tim? God bless us, everyone. All right, CJ, you have waited so long.
Not only have I waited,
You've waited. Your father has waited.
my sister has
so
waited. My
long.
brother has waited. We've been texting like, yo, when is the college football segment? It's like, listen, you got to talk about the Grizzlies. Like, do we have to? Or do you have to? Yes, I have to. You got to talk to Gary. He's got some pretty interesting insight on Dan Hurley and the Memphis Tigers men's basketball program. Do you have to talk about him? Yes, we have to. Can you talk about him later? No, I can't. The city of Memphis cares about the Grizzlies, and they care about men's college basketball, specifically the Memphis Tigers. We will get to the college football of it all. They're like, okay, we're not watching. Call us, text us when it's time to go. So is it time to go?
I will say,
are we doing
this
college
game
football?
was so big. We're doing college football, and this game was so big. They talked about the flag planting on Sunday Night Football. They never talk about college football on the Sunday Night Football broadcast, and yet the biggest story of the weekend, Michigan, a 3-touchdown underdog, takes down Ohio State.
Michigan. Woo! You sat right here on Wednesday and said, CJ, you got any sort of faith? And I kind of dejectedly said, kind of, no, not really. But you know what? If it happens, it'll happen because Ohio State is soft. Well, the Ohio Soft University did not let me down. I can bank on them boys being soft as Charmin tissue, soft as two kittens being tickled on a sheet made of pure cotton. So soft. So luxurious. Them boys are extra soft up there in Columbus. Oh my goodness. How do you lose to that Michigan team? I've seen Michigan do a whole lot of things. And up until this point, I hadn't seen them do everything. I had never seen a bad Michigan team beat a good Ohio State team. That was until this year. Michigan can't complete a forward pass. Did that matter? No. Michigan's secondary is real gullible, especially with Johnson out. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Did Ohio State take advantage of that? No. Y'all went out there and got this transfer damn quarterback from Kansas State, who's the worst Ohio State quarterback of my lifetime. And y'all went out there and begged him to come to your program. Meanwhile, the quarterback that you had last year, what was he doing this weekend? I can't remember.
Shredding up Miami's defense.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Born on third base is Ryan Day. Still born on third base. Ain't made it home yet. He'll never get home. Might be time to cut ties with the great Ryan Day. Yes, ma'am, Jessica James.
I have a question. How much did Ohio State pay for their roster?
How much?
I
don't know.
Oh, $20 million?
That's not a big deal. That's cheaper than rosters past. I feel like
$20 million.
I feel like the roster from like 2006 was about $30 million.
To lose to Michigan? To lose to that
bad Michigan team. Yeah, that's
Come on.
Ohio State's been playing players their entire existence. That's what they do.
I don't know, man. They were the portal kings. They were feasting on making the best roster, the deepest roster in college football. Sure. Only to lose to Michigan?
You can't run the ball on that front? No. And that front is as bad as Michigan has been this year. That front, superb. Those 4 defensive linemen that Michigan has, all of them going pro. At least 2 of them are going in the first round. Probably 3 in the first round. Hell, all 4 might go in the first round. If Ohio State is in the indicator on that, you go out here, you creep your little happy-go-lucky Buckeye asses way down to Oxford, Mississippi. You take their running back. You take Judkins. Judkins, one of the best running backs in the SEC last year, in the past 2 years, I do believe. You get him, and you can't run this man? You can't find a way to run the football? Never mind the fact that your piss poor ass quarterback, the one you got who transferred in from Kansas State or wherever the hell he came from, can't complete a forward pass now all of a sudden. And all that damn talent.
Jeremiah Smith just being wasted.
All that damn talent. Hold that thought on Jeremiah Smith. I have thoughts on that bum.
You got it.
All that talent, and y'all can't get a field goal kicker to make a kick inside the damn 20 on the Smith. How is Smith allowed to run through dudes on routes and it not be offensive pass interference? Also, one of those pass interferences on Michigan, the Ohio State receiver, I can't remember if it's Smith or not, the Ohio State wide receiver has the Michigan defensive back by the face mask. He has grabbed his whole damn face mask. Ohio State was trying to cheat their way to victory, and even that didn't work. Good grief, the Ohio Soft University. They deserve to be left out of the playoffs. You lose to that Michigan team, you can't go to the playoffs. We'll see you in the Citrus Bowl, Ohio Soft. Get out of here.
They will probably still make the playoffs.
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't. But they probably will.
Keep them out.
Will Ryan Day be their coach? Because the conversation now is national championship or Ryan Day gets fired. And what an odd place to be. What a strange
it's not that
mentality
odd or strange. We've seen
to
it.
be. If you're an Ohio State fan, because you're almost like, I hope they don't win because I want them to fire Ryan Day. And Ryan Day, talk about being useless. Of all the people in the post-game situations occurring with the flag planting and the macing of college athletes and the fight that occurred, Ryan Day's just standing off to the side.
Scuffle.
Ryan Day's just like, meow.
Scuffle. It's a lot of pushing
I don't know
and
what
shoving.
I can do here.
It's a lot of grabbing. What is he supposed to do?
Lead?
Let these dudes get it out. Like, come on, y'all. Also, that's more fight than Ohio State showed the entire game. But whatever.
These two.
They just got maced.
Can you imagine? You just beat your rival again, and you got maced. Like, come on. We can't be macing. Although I will say there were plenty of people with the sentiment of, my God, I can't believe we saw campus police macing students. And I'm like, well, that's just another day at Cal. Go over to Berkeley every once in a while. Go to Columbia, see what happens.
Hit with a little bit of mace every now and then.
Add it to college football. Adds a little spice to it. I will say, my take on the flag planting, win the game.
Okay.
If you don't want someone to plant the flag, win the damn game. It's that simple. And to fight over planting the flag is so stupid.
I push back on that.
Stupid.
You can't touch my 50.
It's a 50.
That's the line.
It's a field.
We're drawing the line.
Listen, we just did Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It is so perfect that all of this transpires over Thanksgiving weekend. No better time for rivalry weekend than Thanksgiving because we don't talk enough about the first Thanksgiving in the right way. This is all about people going in and stealing territory, stealing places that was once belonged to somebody else. You plant that flag. That's the American way. We're going to pretend like that. Now we're going to bug out over it?
Yeah, but like it's, thinking about.
Come on.
But thinking about it, right? If after Pearl Harbor, Japan came through, dropped all those bombs, and then just came through and planted the flag in Honolulu, we would have nuked them people a long damn time ago.
We still did.
It took a while.
These things take time.
We went to Germany and took care of them, and then we decided to nuke them. But it would have been instant, right?
You shouldn't make those those are not instant decisions to be made.
Listen, it gets made.
My God.
No, there are things that...
We need to stop. Someone needs to stand up and be the bigger person and say we shouldn't plant flags in college football anymore. The NCAA is not going to do it, so the Big Ten needs to do it, or the SEC needs to do it. No, win your game.
Here's the thing that I don't want. I hadn't seen anything about this as we see.
And that's the best version. Pitchfork it.
Yeah, Arizona State playing the
puppy
pitchfork.
Is done.
Yeah.
People were on one this weekend.
No suspensions need to be laid out, right? If we're okay with planting the flag, what you're telling me is we're okay with fighting in the post game. And I am fine with fisticuffs in the post game. I encourage as somebody who has seen and participated in some post game scuffles. We actually fought. Like, that's just a bunch of dudes pushing around, moving up and down the field. We actually threw helmets and fists and things of that nature. I'm okay with that. But if you're saying, all right, because of the flag planting incident, we've got this list of players that's going to be suspended for their behavior in the fight that came up after the flag planting. Well, then you got to say, hey, don't plant flags. All right, if you're saying you're okay with planting flags, and I'm fine with it if we're okay with the ramifications that come. If we're okay with, hey, somebody getting stomped out on the ground or somebody getting hit upside the head, right? Like, because that's what it leads to. And I am fine with it. I don't think you are. And it's weird that we've drawn the line of demarcation on the 50. No place else on the field, it's the 50, right? You can't do that there. But like I think about it, and it's a lot like your mama jokes, right? Where you can say whatever you want to about my daddy or my grandparents, but the mama, you say something about my mama, that means you really don't respect me as a man. And I'm like 10 years old as a 10-year-old man. So now we got to fight about it. Like, everybody knows that sort of thing is off limits. We know that the 50 is off limits. This flag planting stuff is new. We talked about it before the show. This came about, 2016 when Baker planted? When Baker. So,
what a legacy.
Full circle moment. You got this big a damn problem Ohio solved with Michigan planting the flag at your 50. You should have took care of that shit in 2016 with Baker. You should have been trying to fight Baker, because then we wouldn't be dealing with this. We used to just jump up and down, and we talked about it during the pre-show. I am more of a proponent for calling your shot before the game. Meet them at the 50 and start stomping on the 50 with them on the field, jumping up and down like Miami used to do, right? Like, I'm a proponent of that.
No, I'm a proponent of once you've handled business.
Oh, that's chicken shit.
It's not chicken shit. You won the game.
Call your shot before the game.
You won the game.
If you're bad, be bad before the game.
Nah, you don't want to call it too early.
No.
That's front running.
That's not.
And then you have the chance to be embarrassed.
Calling it late is front running. No. The results have already been in.
No, you let the results speak for themselves, and then you add a little flavor on it.
Well, listen, I'm cool with it.
April showers bring May flowers. Rivalry weekend upset brings planting the flag. Let it happen.
I am cool with it if we can fight.
Gus Johnson was crazy on that broadcast.
How many times did he mention about my man having his parents die in a drive-by?
Too many. At least twice. At least I've got a great story on this one. His parents died. Oh, I hate when we do that. He sounded like he was having an actual medical-related event when it was the end zone pick. Because that's when I was on my run, as mentioned. I don't know if you know this, I'm running a half marathon. I was on my 10-mile run. There was like a spike in my run splits, and it was then because I was just like leaping around and I'm trying to text you, and I'm like, I was just starting to believe in this Michigan team. They still get it done. And then Gus Johnson at the end says, this time without cheating. I'm like, my man, what happened to the law of broadcast? What happened to being neutral?
You got to be.
Never heard of it.
Say whatever you want to say. Michigan, 2024 national champions, Michigan. 4-0 against Ohio State. Michigan under a first-year head coach in a less than good season, right? In a bad season for most of the year for Michigan football, still came away with not only being bowl eligible, but wins over Michigan State and Ohio Soft, right? Like this is my wet dream right here. Oh my gosh, this is incredible.
Can we also agree that being able to, on the live interview following beating your rival, being able to say, they got to learn how to lose, is like the greatest line you could drop.
Was that Mullen?
Yes.
But the other line that he dropped, which was great, like, come on, man. We played 4 quarters in 60 minutes. Get all that fighting out then. We had all game to fight. Don't get mad now.
They were trying to say it's bad for the sport. This is great for the sport. This is why it's the greatest sport to ever exist. I love
terrible.
College football. Did you see Mike Norvell try to take the Florida flag?
Yeah, time to fire Norvell.
Mike Norvell trying to take the Florida flag.
Yeah, time to fire him. You can't have one win against a Power 5 program.
NC State with their flag, the North Carolina guy came, he threw it like a javelin.
Well, what a way for Mac Brown to go out. I thought he was
He's going down
leave
kicking
with,
and screaming.
leave with class and dignity.
Opposite.
Oh,
He's not even
gosh.
coaching their bowl game. Then
nor
out of
should
nowhere,
he.
in the midst of all of that, or I think it was during this is again why you can't keep track of everything, during the Georgia Tech 8 overtime game, the news came out that Gus Malzahn is leaving UCF to be the offensive coordinator at Florida State.
Oh, Gus smells blood in the water. Gus is like, yeah, Mike's not going to make
I've got a
it much longer.
chance. So you're saying there's a chance.
Oh, yeah.
It was a beautiful weekend. BYU and Houston fought. Alabama, Auburn fought.
As well, all of them
The South
should.
Carolina win over Clemson was great. The Syracuse, both Kyle McCord and their coach, Fran. I'm so jealous. I told Chris all weekend, I'm so jealous. He has such a cool coach. I love the Syracuse football coach. He said, "You're welcome," Dabo Sweeney, in his walk-off interview. He said he was going to shower because he doesn't shower after losses, only wins. He's a funny dude. I like that Syracuse team. I wish I could refer a fun team. Instead, I'm trapped, destined for the Sun Bowl with the USC Trojans.
It could be worse.
Please give us USC Oklahoma. Please. Please. It would be so good. It would feed families this holiday season. All right. We got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll do Hot Mess Express, a little sprinkle of the NFL. We have a big Monday Night Football game between the Denver Broncos. I love Bo Nix and Pride Time. Broncos Browns tonight. We'll get into all that when we come back.
I can't tell you how many people texted me and thought it was the funniest thing ever that you were sitting on the front row in your jersey.
Yo, no.
You were wearing a Tony Allen jersey on the front row. They're like, yo, tell him to check in.
That joke was smeety. I told Tia, I saw Tia, I said,
Yo,
"Bro,
I
you
did
should
have a hoodie on, though. I mean, a sweater on.
I told Tia, you should have sized up on that joint, man.
Yo, shout out to Robin Hood, man.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
D'Anthony Melton took my little guys, to the ice cream stand. He was like, I'm going to get ice cream. You want to go with? So he took my little guys to the ice cream stand. So, guess who their favorite player is now? John Morant. But outside of that, D'Anthony Melton's pretty high up on the list. How about this? We got used small D'Anthony Melton jerseys at our house right now. Love D'Anthony Melton. That was a fun night.
It was a fun night, man.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
It's the top 5 worst teams in the NFL. I think the Panthers are the worst team in the NFL.
I got the Saints number 1. Ha ha ha! Let's put the Aints up there. They're terrible.
I'll take the Titans as my worst team in the NFL. If they played Will Levis, they're for sure the worst team. Maybe in NFL history. Might be worse than the 0-16 Lions if they play Will Levis.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Yellow laces, really bright yellow primary color. You got black on the trim and on the edges.
I gotta get 'em.
And you got some red there as well. Look at that right there, Mike. Look at that right there.
Man, look at that G. Look at that G, boy. That G is moving strong right there, too, man.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Who will lead the Grizz in steals this season?
I'm going to go with Pippen for steals this season.
So I'm going to go with Jaren.
I'm going to go, as long as he's in the rotation, I'm going to go Jake LaRavia for total steals, and I'll have Marcus Smart in my back pocket for steals per game.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz Beat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Goldberg announces he's going to have a retirement match in 2025, and he said this on College Game Day.
We know you're trying to ride the coattails because the 2025 is supposed to be the year of John Cena. Goldberg, I have a message for you, my guy. We don't care about your retirement match. Your retirement match was 3 years ago. Go somewhere, go away.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Chugga, 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 chugga. All aboard!
The Hot Mess Express. Chugga, 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 chugga.
So obviously all of the college football fights from the weekend were appropriately on the Hot Mess
Skirmishes.
Express.
Like not fights. They're pushing and shoving and grabbing and tugging. And it's not. Florida International Miami is a fight. Right, like that was a good college football fight where they're stomping on people.
The Bahamas Bowl brawl was a fight.
The Bahamas brawl, right? Like
That was
that's
good
a
stuff.
fight. People getting hit with helmets and stuff. Like those are fights. Grabbing, tugging at flags, playing tug of war with a flag isn't a fight.
Tug of war is just
It's fine.
a tug.
It's fine.
I had to watch the Niners die again last night. Do you know how many times my husband has declared the 49ers dead this season? 3 weeks in a row.
Well, now they might
They
be.
might be.
They might be.
Christian McCaffrey with a potential season-ending PCL. Achilles was trending last night on the socials. I was like, can't I just get a break from the Achilles? But it looks like it's a PCL. Why Christian McCaffrey was playing in the snow game to begin with is a question I was asking myself. It was a beautiful game, just from a standpoint of snow. Josh Allen was an absolute monster. Josh Allen coming off of his engagement. Did you see that Josh Allen popped the question, CJ, to Haley Steinfeld? They're engaged.
Who's she?
She's an actress.
In what?
She was in True Grit.
I'm familiar.
What would you know her from?
What would I know her from?
Please hold.
Okay. While you figuring that out, are we gonna do this?
Well, I was gonna tell you because Josh Allen popped the question and Travis Kelce commented on the post on Instagram saying congratulations, and there were no less than 100 people who commented, "You next, your move, you're next, you're next. When are you going to pop the question? What are you doing?" Because they started dating. Haley and Josh started dating almost around the exact same time as Travis and Taylor. So this puts a little pressure. And Josh Allen did it during the season and then came out and played his best game of the season in the snow. So what are you waiting for, Travis Kelce? I don't know. As somebody who had no real urgency in getting married, I try not to make assumptions on what people want. I'm just saying the people have raised their concerns, desire. She was in Spider-Man Across... Oh, she's the voice of Gwen in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
She was in Pitch Perfect 3.
Okay, I know her from Hawkeye.
You would know her from Hawkeye. She's Kate.
Yeah, she's Kate Bishop. I don't know Pitch Perfect. I'm unfamiliar with that.
She was in a reboot of Charlie's Angels.
I'm familiar.
She was the little girl in True Grit. And then I made my book club read True Grit, and they've really hated that decision ever since.
Don't know True Grit at all.
That's all I know. Well, now she's Josh Allen's... Josh Allen is her fiance.
Turn up, Josh Allen.
Say. What did you want to turn to?
I thought we were going to do Hot Mess Express. Are we doing
We're on
NFL?
Hot Mess Express. That's included in the Hot Mess Express.
Right.
Everything is a mess on the Monday coming out of a holiday weekend. At the game.
What game?
The game. The Niners-Bills game last night.
You say at the game like we hadn't been off since Thursday.
The game.
There have been an infinite amount of games.
Mac Hollins, who never wears shoes. I don't know if you're familiar with his work. Mac Hollins does not wear shoes, and even though
where's
last
his shoes
night
at?
he just doesn't wear them.
Why?
He doesn't like to wear shoes.
What?
He's grounded. Don't you know some people choose not to wear shoes because they like to be one with the ground?
Prince Mongo is that way.
Chris has tried to be this way.
Oh, of course he's a little weird San Francisco ass would. Stop it. He plays in shoes. Impress me. Play football without your shoes on. What are you doing here?
If you're gonna do it, go big. The hat is a really nice addition. Like the hat on top with no shoes, straight bare feet. I just don't know how you warm your feetsies up, because once my feet are cold, it's over. Like that's the worst part of the winter for me, is if my feet get cold, then the rest of my body is cold and there's really no turning back. But he does kind of remind me of many girls who decide to, well, it's 30 degrees out, but I'm still gonna wear a skirt. I'm still gonna wear a dress. Like, what are you doing?
Saw some of those.
What are you doing?
Saw some of those on Sunday, and they were huddled together as they were leaving, just walking out amongst the people like, oh, it's so cold. It's like, yeah, no shit. If you put on something other than them almost got in trouble. You put on something other than them Dukes, you'll be straight.
The Dukes?
Some Daisy Dukes. Shivering your little ass off.
We had a good in the Rockets Thunder game. A little, not a skirmish, but a tug of ball between Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Dillon Brooks, Team Canada teammates, opponents last night. And you think to yourself, oh, this is just a normal fight over a ball in a basketball game. But when you start seeing the stills and the close-ups, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is laughing, and Dillon Brooks is laughing as well. And they're just having a hee-hee-ha-ha over the fight of the ball. You're crazy. No, you're crazy. No, you're crazy. That was a good game. Both of those games between the 1 and the 2 teams last night in the NBA were good. We don't get that often so early in the year. Cavs beat the Celtics 115-111, and then Rockets beat the Thunder 119-116. I saw somebody post the top 3 in the West right now in Thunder, Rockets, Grizzlies. It said, what year is it? What year are we living in? We're so back in time. Did you know 2025? It's coming up in a month because it's December.
I'm aware.
It starts.
Wait, 2025 is what month?
January.
Okay.
Starts the new year.
Okay.
Perhaps you're familiar.
All right.
Now that we're done with Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We can say it all month.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The year, January, January 1, 2025, is a Wednesday, which means that the year starts with WTF. Should we be concerned? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, WTF. We're trying to turn a page into a new year, but what if the new year is screaming back at us?
I'm gonna stop.
What the F?
I've stopped trying to turn the page.
There's no page to turn.
I think the last page I turned was 2019. And after that, I'm not turning pages with you people. It's going to be a terrible year, just like all of them have been before this one. Hey, you guys. Yeah, it's going to be a WTF type of year. You saw we're going to disband the FBI, apparently?
I can't talk about my book that I'm currently reading
What
because
book?
it's the one about time travel going back to stop the assassination of John F. Kennedy. But I can't say anymore because Chris is reading it and he's really behind, but I'm almost done with it. And there's so much that I want to talk about in regards to our current situation of the world. And it's just all fascinating. Turning the pages is probably not going to happen. Did you see what the word of the year is from the Oxford University? They come up with their word of the year. It's brain rot. I'm like, oh my God, there's no hope for us. If the word of the year is brain rot, how do we even come back from that? Its frequency is up 230% from the year before. Oxford describes brain rot as the supposed deterioration of a person's mental or intellectual state, especially viewed as the result of overconsumption of material, now particularly online content, considered to be trivial or unchallenging.
Oh, good grief.
Brain rot. This show right here, brain rot.
This is absolutely brain rot.
I am proud to be
Our picture should be up there.
brain rot.
The logo, Jessica Benson Show logo should be up there.
Do you have a podcast microphone? You might have contributed to brain rot.
Ain't no mind about it. You absolutely contributed to brain rot.
I don't say brain rot very often.
I never say the words that they make word of the year. It's always for the younger people. So the younger people must be running around talking about brain rot. What happened?
Do you know when the first usage of brain rot is recorded?
No.
1854. Henry David Thoreau, in his Ode to the Natural World, Walden.
Oh, what a tough book to read.
It was a tough. I was not a Henry David Thoreau fan.
I went back and tried to read it again as a grown-up, and it's still hard.
The other options for word of the year?
What?
Demure. I thought that would have won. See how demure she is?
Stop it.
So mindful, so demure. Slop. No, don't throw things at me. You're like the North Carolina fan with the flag. You threw a pen at me.
Yeah, stop saying that word.
You didn't even unclick it. Murder! I'd like to report an attempted murder.
That you
911.
You don't know.
I'd like to report a man in a box.
Don't know how much that word
Demure
makes my balls itch.
How about slop?
I'm so uncomfortable.
Slop.
I hadn't heard anybody say
Me neither. Dynamic pricing.
Oh. Those are two different words, but okay.
Romantasy?
A what?
A romantasy.
A romantic fantasy? What?
Fall is bringing fantasy and romantasy, literary fiction, politics, and tailored book offerings. I don't know what that means.
Okay, I've never heard anybody say that.
And then the last option was, I got out of it. I don't know what it is. Whatever. Last year's word was Riz. The Rizzler. Back at it again. Oh, the last one was lore. Lore's fine. All right, the lore of the show is we go 2 hours on Mondays. And we made it. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be a Grizzlies game day. The Cup, the NBA Cup continues. The Grizzlies have not been eliminated. It'll be real tough for them to make it, but they still could make the knockout round if they go out and stomp the Mavs tomorrow. We'll be here to talk all about it. Maybe we'll do a wake-up Rob if we're feeling frisky. We're feeling demure. Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Give me a pin.
Don't throw things at me.